Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Brainwaves. Today, Jason, we're talking coasts, my friend. Canadian coasts, east versus west, dealer's choice.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here to discuss. Where do you land on this?
I'm a big fan of coasts because they hold
I
the
know you
water
are.
back. They hold the water
Yeah.
back. If we didn't have coasts, Toronto would be like the undersea kingdom. It would be what's it called?
Atlantis.
Atlantis. That's it. We would be buried by water from all sides but thankfully we have coasts that are doing their job and holding the water back.
I tell you, the hardest working people, perhaps in our country, are the people on the coast because they're
Yeah.
holding back the sea. Anyway, Jay, east
You went-
versus west.
Yeah, you
We
went
don't
to
have
one
to
of the
say
coasts.
versus.
No.
Very recently I did.
So
But I want to start with you.
Yeah.
I want to put the focus on you. You've
Please
been
do.
to both coasts. I've been to both coasts. Why don't you talk about your favorite coast?
Okay, well, it's really hard to compare. They're
Let's
very
get right
different.
into it.
Now, I
Yeah.
went to Halifax for just a brief period of time, like literally one day. And it was on
Yeah.
my 1 year anniversary at the Home Depot back. So that would have been in 2006. I was there for a
Okay.
meeting. Now, I did take myself there was a fort up on top of a hill that I went to.
Yeah.
I did see
Yeah.
the ocean. I believe there's ocean there. It's a coast, so there must be some ocean there. I went
Well,
and
there's
saw I saw some of the local sites, and I did sort of take myself around because I got in there in the afternoon, had an evening, and then I had meetings all the next day and then store walks,
Right.
things like that. So the East Coast, I had a brief visit to the East Coast, and it was nice. I quite enjoyed it. And it was like I said,
What
it was there.
season was it? What
It was
season
the
it?
fall season. So it was a beautiful
Ooh.
fall season. I have to say that the East Coast does it really well in the fall for the one day that I
Uh-huh.
saw. Nice and crisp. It was a great day to walk
Yeah.
around. And that's exactly what I did. I should mention that. I walked everywhere. I was dropped off at the hotel and then I just walked
Good for you.
everywhere. So I did
Yeah.
enjoy Halifax. I thought it was really good. It was a really cool place. The
Now, you're
West
not really a
Coast-
lobsterman,
sorry.
right? Like you're
No,
not a
no.
lobster guy, right?
I will
Okay,
eat
so
no seafood on any coast. That is my rule
Okay.
and something that I live by because I don't
yeah.
love seafood.
Glad you got that out there.
Yeah, I think it's important because I don't love seafood and I think it would be just raw. It would be wasted on me if I tried it and had it. So I want to leave it for people like you, for people that can appreciate it because they're not making tons more seafood. It's tougher to come by. I want to make sure that everybody who likes seafood has a chance. And I encourage anyone, if you don't like seafood, don't waste your time on the coast eating the seafood. That's what I'll say. Most people on the coast won't say that. I am coming to you and I'm saying, don't waste your time. Let it, people
think you
who
are the-
appreciate it, enjoy it.
I think you're the first person to ever utter that phrase in the history of either coast. But regardless, I don't want to get in your way. Take us to the West Coast. What was
Okay.
that like?
West Coast, I'm more familiar with. I traveled there for work many times. We used to shoot commercials when I was with, again, Home Depot. We shot commercials on the West Coast. My brother
Nice.
lived on both coasts. He was in Vancouver, so I would see him there when I would travel. He also lived coast. He also lived in St. John, New Brunswick, so he lived east. But
Wow.
coast specifically on beautiful Vancouver, it was so great. He was able to show me around. Vancouver is, folks that know, I don't need to spend time explaining what Vancouver is, but it's we think of it as a big city. It's a small city when you compare it to Toronto. You can walk basically through Vancouver, and I have done that kind of, it's not too far to walk through. So it's a small city, beautiful city. One thing I will say, both coasts I appreciate, and I'll take away, I love your perspective on this. It's very laid back.
Extremely.
One of the cab drivers that picked me up from the airport one time said in Toronto, he was from Toronto too. He's like, people in Toronto work long, crazy hours in Ontario so that we can relax and enjoy ourselves here on the coast. So that was his view of the coast. And he'd moved out there to be able to smoke weed, drive a cab, and just enjoy himself. So that was
I like
before
it.
weed was legal in Ontario, actually. I don't know if it was in Vancouver. Maybe it was, but that was before the legalization of pot. So yeah.
Either way, I like where this man's head's at.
I
Yeah,
thought it was
I wish we
you.
knew
I was
more
like,
about him.
Barry, are you driving this cab? Yeah.
If only.
So that's my kind of quick read on both coasts. If I had to pick one,
Yeah.
I don't know. I bet you get better sunsets in the West Coast because you get to see that thing go right down to the Pacific Ocean before the sun goes to bed. So I'm going to say, I'm going to go with the West Coast slightly just because I like Vancouver. I like a bigger city. So I think I would appreciate the West Coast. I think I would appreciate the West Coast a little bit more if I had to spend any length of time there. So that's my early read. Let's
What if
spin
you
this.
had to live on either one of those two coasts, Jay? This is the
Vancouver.
big question here. If you had
Yeah.
to live on either one.
Vancouver. I would pick Vancouver to live.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Wow.
like being 3 hours behind. I like that idea.
You do.
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
being able to get prime time TV at, an earlier time slot. That's my
That is a
choice.
good point. That's an excellent point, especially for sports fans like myself. If I were able to watch a Maple Leafs game at 4 o'clock instead of 7,
Yeah.
I think there'd be some advantages to that. Although I probably would have to have a word with my boss about skipping out early if that were the case. But I hear you. It is kind of nice to be in the past, but also have a doorway to the future. And you'd always have that. If I ended up not being on the same coast as you, you could always reach out and time travel anytime you want, Jay.
Thank you. I love that. I love that offer. Thank you so much. I might take you up on that one day.
It stands for eternity. Just I'm putting it out there.
Look, you recently traveled to the East Coast, so I want to start there with you. And I'd love to get sort of same question. What struck you as the most incredible thing you saw on the East Coast? And what's something maybe you could have lived without? I'd love to hear both.
Most incredible thing I saw was probably the delicious food that was brought to mine and executive producer Linda LeBrun's table each night when we stayed at went out for dinner. Jay, I know you don't like seafood, and it's a damn shame because I'm telling you right now, June to October is the official lobster season in Halifax. That's where we were very recently. And I'll tell you, when I ordered the lobster roll, it was a double portion, not double bun, double portion of lobster. That's the money. That's what you're paying for. That's what you want. And I tell you, it was so luxurious. Just every bite was just like unbelievable. I had seafood chatter every single day. We had oysters, all the kind of like the ocean is essentially man's grocery store. And it's a pity that you haven't fully explored it because I'm telling you right now, Jay, there's some treasures beneath the sea that you might actually like if you were to be persuaded, or perhaps if we're buzzed enough, you might say, well, okay, fine, I'll have half a bite of lobster. Anyway, the food was incredible. That's what struck me 100%. We stayed in the downtown part of Halifax, so we were walking distance from where you visited, which is known as the Citadel in the center of town.
That's it.
The old fort. Yeah, you're exactly right.
You went there?
Yeah, it's the highest point in Halifax. Yeah, we were there. We took a lot of photos, walked around. It was a beautiful sunny day. Very, very cool. A lot of history there. And then if there was one thing, I can't even think of one thing that I didn't enjoy seeing.
Okay.
Even some of the street involved people begging on the street, they were at the very least colorful and interactive. There was one part, we were again, downtown Halifax. Shout out to the hotel we stayed at, the Lord Nelson. I'm telling you, if you ever go back, the Lord Nelson is where it's at. Beautiful.
I might have stayed there.
Really?
I think I might have been at the Lord Nelson.
Dude,
that sounds familiar.
That's incredible. No way.
I don't know.
Our lives have so many points that intersect. If this is yet another one, it's unbelievable. I'm
20 years later.
It's true.
Did you see my name carved in the fort? Yeah.
I wish. I'm going to go back with a magnifying glass and find you.
Okay.
The point is, we were right in the center of it all. Right across from this beautiful garden. It was just called the gardens. And we just wandered around. There were ducks everywhere. There were people performing hip hop in the park. It was unbelievable. It was really super cool.
Nice. Now, when you say, I want to go back to something you said about your portions. Double lobster portion. First of all, does that mean 4 lobster claws? Is that what did you count 4 claws? Because that would be, I guess, a double portion.
I just counted the mountain of meat. There was no work for me to do, Jay. They did it all in the kitchen.
Oh, so there's no cracking claws.
No, nobody has got time for that in 2026, brother. I want the meat. You do the work. We're paying the bill. That's the exchange. That's what we're doing here at the restaurant.
Got it.
So you're not I didn't.
That's interesting. You're not a claw cracker. Would you be a claw cracker if you had to be?
No.
You wouldn't. You would refuse it.
If I had to be. If it was 1920 and I was starving and back then lobster was still poor people food, yeah, I would, of course, be a lobster cracker. But that sounds a bit weird coming from a Caucasian, a lobster cracker. But anyway.
Have you ever cracked that? No, wait. I don't want to move past that just yet. Have you ever cracked a crab, cracked a lobster cracker? Have you ever cracked what is it, off-putting? Yes. I would imagine it's off-putting.
It's just a lot of work, Jay. And when I'm sitting down to a nice meal that's going to be, a decent amount of dough, I'm paying for the luxury of having someone else do the cracking.
Okay.
Because it's not all that fun.
Now, you also said double portion, not double bun. What does double bun mean? I don't understand.
Well, see, I don't know. You're the second person who didn't understand when I was
I
told
don't
them I
know
got a
it.
double portion lobster roll. They assumed that there was two sandwiches. It's not two sandwiches, even though it's called double portion. It's double portion of the good stuff, the meat.
I would have
Only
thought
one
that.
bun.
Yeah.
Well, some people do when they hear double portion lobster roll, they think two lobster rolls,
A
another
roll is a
bun.
sandwich?
Yes,
I don't know this. I don't know
Jay,
anything about this. So when you
that's
say
true.
lobster roll, it's
Why
coming
would
in
you?
bread. It's coming with bread. If you say lobster roll, it comes with bread.
Yeah, which is probably the part of the meal that you would enjoy the most.
I would
You can
only
just
eat
go
that.
order one, scoop all the
Hold the
lobster.
lobster.
Yeah, just give me the bun and the one piece of lettuce, and
Yeah.
he's happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it was double portion, and it was absolutely worth it. And when I ordered it, I'm telling you right now, the waiter, who was a really cool guy with a very thick East Coast accent, his eyes just lit up, and he said yes, like that. Wrote it down. Everything
Why?
about the
Hmm.
experience was old school. He was writing down. There was no iPad. There was no memory. He was like writing it down old school, which again, charming as hell, and I loved it. Me and Linda were like, okay, let's go. Bring us the seafood chowder too, and the oysters, and
You had
everything was
oysters,
delicious.
chowder, and double portion
Yeah,
lobster in one
yes,
sitting,
in one sitting. You'd
and
be
lettuce.
surprised how much I can eat, Jay.
Nothing surprises me about you because you are a marvel to behold. It's true.
Oh, well, thank you.
Okay. So
I don't even know what that means, but I appreciate it. You're the best.
let's go all the way west now. You've also been to
Sure.
the west coast of, I think, Canada and potentially also the US.
Yep, I have.
All
But
right. So
we're
let's
focusing today
focus
on
on
the
Canada.
Canadian side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about Canada in 26, Jay.
So
Now I
what's
have
your,
to go back a little ways for this one.
Mhm.
Like you, I visited there years ago. I never worked for a company that sent me anywhere. I didn't have that luxury. I went there and did the Rocky Mountaineer train trip that began in Vancouver and ended in Calgary. And we flew home from there with stops in Banff, Lake Louise, Kamloops. I'm telling you, fantastic experience. Glad we did it when we did, because now it's like twice or maybe even three times the cost. But that
Really?
was years ago. Oh yeah, oh yeah. The
How
Rocky Mountaineer it's a special train. It's got the domed ceiling, so you have all the views, and just like
yeah.
your meals were included. The booze was included, Jay. Can you
Well, you
believe
like
that?
that. That's that.
Oh, I you damn
Oh,
right.
no wonder the prices they went up just after you got off that train.
Well, it was just me and Linda and a bunch of blue hairs, so we're gonna outpace them for sure.
Yeah.
They're having one drink a day. We're having well more than that.
Okay.
Anyway, that was a long time ago, but it was fantastic. We did have some really good Indian food in Vancouver. That's one thing I'll remember
Hmm.
forever. That was like the early days of me discovering Indian food. And then we went to a restaurant there and it was dynamite. Really, really good. Again, not something that you would necessarily gravitate towards, but something that stays in my mind all these years later. And of course, the mountains that are like surrounding the city when you're walking around, it's really cool.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, exactly. That I think is also what's really appealing. The mountains are incredible. I
Yeah.
went and stayed at the Opus when I was there. So it was kind of a higher end
Ooh,
hotel. And we have one
the
here,
Opus.
the Opus,
Nice.
yeah, down in Yaletown. And that was really cool. And I discovered this comic book store there that was just packed full of comics. It was incredible.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where I first had edamame as an appetizer, where you eat it out of the shell and you discard the little shells, and they
I'm
put
familiar.
different sauces on it. It's quite something. I was
You
since
liked it?
that time. I liked that. That I enjoyed. I enjoyed the edamame, and since then we've often bought
Wow.
frozen edamame and had it here. So I credit Vancouver for my love affair with edamame. Can you believe it?
I'm having a hard time believing it. I wouldn't have, again, I love saying this expression, especially when it comes to our conversations. Gun to my head, Jay, I would never have picked edamame as something that you would ingest voluntarily. Perhaps if you were up against it and one of your loved ones was held for ransom, and the only way you're going to get them back is if you ate edamame on a Zoom call, then maybe. But
On a Zoom call.
unbelievable. I keep learning from you. I keep learning all this stuff from you. It's incredible. We've been friends for so long, and
Yeah.
new nuggets are constantly getting unearthed every single week.
I'm
Thank
a
you for
picky
that.
eater, but I'm not averse to edamame. You kids, you
Unbelievable.
shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. You should go in there, especially
No.
because at the Opus, it was like salt. They had some like sauce on it, like a teriyaki kind
Yeah.
of sauce or something. It
Oh
was
yeah.
really good.
Uh-huh.
So that's the way you got to do edamame. And yeah, really good.
Good for you.
So yeah,
Well, I'm
so West Coast,
exceedingly proud of you.
thank you. How long does the train take to get from Vancouver to Calgary?
It was I believe it was 3 nights. And we stayed at hotels along the way. You don't sleep on the train, but you
Oh,
spend the day on the train. But when we got off and got shuttled to our hotel, Jay, our bags were already waiting for us in the room. We were handed our room card
beautiful.
keys the second we got off the train. It was like an unbelievable first class experience. I highly recommend it if you got probably now 20 grand to go. It wasn't that when we went many years ago, but it's because of the all-inclusive nature of it. You're staying at Fairmont hotels.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's high end all the way. And one of the places we stayed is the Fairmont Hotel in Banff, which is iconic. And some people believe that is where the inspiration for the Overlook Hotel from The Shining came from. I don't know whether that's true, but it does kind of have that vibe. It's like nestled into a mountainside.
Yeah. Did any of the walls bleed or anything while you were there? There was no.
Unfortunately, no.
That is too bad.
It's unfortunate. That's a missed opportunity. Yeah, they should do that. At least
Do
for
you have
Halloween, for guests staying there during the Halloween season. Come on.
Yeah. Well, as we wrap up, like, do you have a favorite coast now that you've been there to both of them?
Well, you know me, Jay. I am a sucker for what's known as recency bias, and so since I was just in Halifax, I'm going to go East Coast all day long.
Nice. All right, so I picked West, you picked East. That's like 5 hours of time. That's like almost an entire day separating us. If you were to go East and I were to go West, but
well, that's not happening though.
No,
we're not going to polar opposite ends of the country, Jay.
No, absolutely not.
Never.
That's incredible. Any parting thoughts for our listeners and viewers on what's, you just traveled? What's something that, they're going to want to make sure they've got with them or are ready to go as they travel either East or West to visit the coast of Canada?
Right. Well, if you're traveling within Canada, I would recommend that you have your joints ready. So the minute you touch down, you can get yourself into that East Coast state of mind. I'd also recommend the lobster, the double portion, of course, and just know that there's only one bun. And if you're okay with just a single bun, you're going to be just fine.
Nice. Now, there's a top and a bottom to the bun.
No, there is one bun.
Oh, it's an open face sandwich.
It's like ice cream scoops worth of lobster on top, Jay. I think maybe I should have led with that. You would have understood from the outset.
Yes.
So it's on me for being so confusing, but I hope our viewers are able to keep up.
It's hard to catch up with the whole bun situation. This has really taken over as the theme of the show. Okay,
it really
single bun, head east. You can catch Barry there anytime because he'll be there having some drinks for you in the East Coast. I'll be on the West Coast, sitting back on the mountains. I'm not able to get on the train because it's kind of out of everybody's price range now. But if you can go do it.
If you can, it's worth it.
Having the bags in the rooms that's the pro move. You want every step of the way to be total comfort.
Yeah. It was like, imagine traveling as like Prince Charles back when he was a prince.
Yeah.
Like you just had everything taken care of for you. And not king, only prince level. But prince level is pretty good, Jay. We didn't get the toothpaste squeezed onto our brushes in advance of brushing, but whatever. There's room for that.
All right. Well, East versus West. It's not versus. East and West. We thank each of the coasts for doing the job that they need to do. Hold back the tides from coming into central Canada. Get out there if you can. I know you and I are both going to be traveling out there again just as soon as we're able to. But before 100%. That, we've got a whole bunch of more shows coming up. Barry, I will see you next week. To our listeners and our viewers, if you like us, please click subscribe on the old YouTube channel. Give us a 5-star review if you mind. It helps us to get discovered. And we will see you next week for another exciting episode of Brainwaves.